Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are with the president and founder of Advanced Benefit Design Institute, Scott Hettesheimer, joining us here once again today. Again, he's the president and founder based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, helping people with healthcare expense reduction and so much more. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks for being here. So a little bit
Yeah.
of an overview for those new time listeners today, tell you what you do, and then we'll get right into the claim auditing. I know you kind of want to focus on that today.
Yes, we audit claims for employers with 500 or more employees. CFOs are Googling the top phrase is claim auditing, and that's exactly what we do. We take it to the next level. So we're not just a claim auditing company. We just don't look at submitted claims and pass them along. We re-adjudicate 100% of the paid claims that an employer has, and that would be your last 3 years of paid claims. That's significant because the amount of overcharging or theft of your money is it's significant. So what am I talking about? It's 25, according to HHS, the government, 25% of all healthcare payments in the US, they're misspent. It's fraud, it's abuse, it's mistakes, it's overcharging. Many times you could just say it's outright theft of the benefit plan money. So we find by re-adjudicating every claim what these actual dollars are, who the providers are that overcharged, how much they overcharge, and then we go one step further, which maybe is the most important step. We recover these dollars for the plan. The money comes directly back to the plan.
Yeah.
So 95% of all of our findings are accepted by the providers who overcharged. So we really don't have an argument per se with all of these different hospitals, doctors, pharmacy, all of these players in the healthcare system. They don't disagree. And with that being said, recovery isn't something that we have to go to court on probably 95% of the time. Additionally, if your member, your employee, the patient, if they are due money back from overpaying and deductibles, coinsurance, and copays, they get checks from us as well. They get money back too. So not only does the plan get money back, so do your employees who used your health insurance and pay, thousands of dollars out of their own pocket. They get a refund too. What am I talking about? How much money? Just as an example.
Okay.
1,000-man group, 1,000 employees. You have a PPO. It doesn't matter who you're insured with. It could be a legacy carrier. It could be a third party, TPA. It doesn't matter who it is. This all works the same in the industry. This is a problem in the industry. So let's assume a $10 million claim spend on a 1,000-man group. Well, we actually go back 3 years. So we look at $30 million of claims. A conservative recovery would be 4%. So at 4%, you're looking at the group would be getting $120,000 back.
Mm-hmm.
We get a 10% recovery, you'd be getting $300,000 back.
Okay.
We usually average more than that, maybe up to 15%. You're looking at over $400,000 coming back to the plan. That's free money. It's not taxable. The employer didn't have to improve or increase sales. This just increases company profit without any spend. We don't charge a fee to do the re-adjudication.
Mm-hmm.
Our fees are taken from the recovery. The dollar amounts that I just mentioned are net to the employer. Our fees are already taken out of those dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what we do, what we find. Where do we find this money? What kind of examples are there? It could be improper coding, as an
Mm-hmm.
example. There's over 80,000 codes right now. It's ICD-10, started at 70,000 January of 22. And there's probably over 80,000, maybe even 90,000 codes now. The codes represent services. There's also CPT codes representing services. So every code is identified, and that's how claim adjudication works. It's all done by numbers. It's all done by codes. It's not, they don't use words. They don't use diagnosis names. So, I have an example of something that's known as upcoding. And this is where the claim was increased. The dollar amount of the billing was increased by changing the codes to more expensive procedure costs. So in this particular one, this is a major pancreas and liver failure. And yeah, there was an unspecified coma in this as well. The patient survived. Normal treatment, I guess, for the seriousness of the conditions. The employer paid 168,000, almost $169,000 in charges. This money came out of their benefit plan. The way employers self-insured, their claim adjudication vendor has access to their checking account and will just automatically deduct weekly the dollar amount of the claims that they paid. So they deducted $168,987 for this particular claim. After we re-adjudicated it, we made the discovery that the claim should have been paid in full for $54,315. So we found $114,672 overpayment on just that one claim. And if you're talking a 500-man group, you might have a couple thousand claims a year. You might have 10,000 claims a year. Who knows? It doesn't matter to us. We will re-adjudicate 100% of all claims that are in your data. So that was just one particular example. Common, happens all the time. Who's the benefactor of that overcharging? When there's $100,000 of overpayment, who gets that money? Well, that money goes to various vendors. It could, a lot of it goes to the provider. They're the benefactor of overcharging. It may go to the administrator. We have another example where the administrator, this is disturbing, I guess. We have a hernia repair, and the hernia repair
Just had that September.
Yep. A hernia repair should have been settled for somewhere around $59,000. Usually a hernia repair can be settled payment in full for about $1,300. And this client paid $57,159 for this hernia repair. Of that, this is a disturbing part. And this, TPAs, adjudicators they say that they're claim auditing every claim for their client, and they always have. So, the CFOs, the plan sponsors, they're of the opinion that this is already being done in their plan, and they're not going to benefit from somebody like us coming in and doing another audit extensively. A re-adjudication of every claim would be a waste of time. That's the general opinion. It's a waste of time to do this because they're already being told it's done. Well, this is a vendor who said that all claims are already audited. We found that $29,419 of this $57,000 payment went directly to the TPA. The TPA's explanation, when we asked them about this, brought it to their attention. They said, well, this is our fee for negotiating a better rate. How can an overcharge of $57,000 on a $1,300 procedure be a better rate? Obviously, it's not. We discovered this and recovered 100% of this $29,000 that went to the TPA. So the client was kind of in shock, I guess you'd say. Yeah, we have all kinds of examples. I mean, we audit thousands of claims. I mean, we're recovering probably over $1 billion to date for employers throughout the country. Ambulatory surgical center, another example. TPA again negotiated a fee of 25%. 146,000 plus was billed. Paid was 28,900. Anesthesiologist, over 7,000 billed. Paid 1,489. Should have been 764. So, we find savings, down to hundreds of dollars. It's not always $100,000 in savings per claim, but we'll find hundreds of dollars in savings and claim. And the point is we do this with 100% of the claims. It all adds up. It's all your money. We want to recover 100% of the available money that falls into this overcharging, theft. You could even say stolen money for the employer. So that's what we do. Those are some examples. I've got many others. I mean, I got more examples than we have time in this call. But that is the significance. That's what we do. That's the significance of it. It's why every CFO should be doing this. Now, again, we work with companies that have over 500 employees. I'm working a 7,000 employee man group right now. And they're like 3 states away. So again, it doesn't matter where in the country you are. We are a national service. We have legal representation built into the service if necessary, if it's needed. There aren't any industries that we cannot work with. We can even work with Medicaid, state government agencies. It doesn't really matter. We can work with anybody that's paying healthcare claims. So, you can reach us. Our website is TheABDI.com. That stands for Advanced Benefit Design Institute. You can find us by spelling it out and using those words too. We have several different URLs. AdvancedBenefitDesignInstitute.com is another URL that we have. And my direct line, which I answer, I don't use automated phone services or call centers that are based out of the country. My direct line is 513-720-4400. Again, I answer my phone. That's what we do. That's how you can get a hold of us. And that's what we accomplish for self-insured employers.
Perfect. And I'm sorry, I went back to try to find your notes. I only had the old ones from January 5th, so I'm still just on a roll listening. And
Yeah.
hope everyone can reach out to you because we're at that point. We're getting close near the end, but I want to remind everyone, Scott, Advanced Benefit Design Institute, advancedbenefitdesigninstitute.com, and we'll continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. And we have a short one too, theabdi.com, and
Mm-hmm.
then 513-720-4400. In order to engage with us, you don't have to pay anything up front. We don't charge anything up front. We only get paid if we are successful in recovering money and the money ends up back in your account. That's the only time we get paid. We get paid a part of what we recover. Uh, Very easy to work with this. You have healthcare data that you're getting every week in your self-insured plan from your TPA, previous or the paid claims of that week or the previous month's paid claims. We would like, we encourage employers to give us 3 years of your paid claim data. So we'll audit all 3 years, and we'll recover overpayments in those 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So these numbers can be huge. This 7,000 man group, we're looking at over $300 million in paid claims with this particular group, and they're potentially looking at 15-20 million dollars in recovery. So this is very important. This is big money. So, to work with this again, you just get us your paid claims data. It'll take us a little bit to go through it, a little bit of time. It's not going to take us 2, 3, 4 months. We can probably crunch that number in 100% in less than 1 month, 30 days. Recovery begins as soon as the second month. The recovery is not 100% in 1 month. The recovery comes in as the money is recovered, and it comes in over a 12-month period of time. But we generally see recovery beginning in the second month. And, at that point, we start getting paid. But again, there's no charge to an employer. There aren't any setup fees or data input costs, nothing like that. This is entirely on us, no risk to the employer. Our work does not require any plan design changes, so the benefits stay exactly the same. You retain your agent. We're not talking about
Mm-hmm.
becoming agent of your plan. I personally don't have an interest of being your agent of record.
Mm-hmm.
So we typically work with everything you already have in place.
Good.
Um, Now, with that being said, some employers don't want to work with their agents any longer
Mm-hmm.
because they find out that their agent hadn't actually really done this, and this money was stolen from their plan. There
Mm-hmm.
could be some obvious hard feelings here. Well, in that event, we have fully vetted administrators that we work with, 3 or 4 of them. They work to a fiduciary standard. They're 100% transparent. There's over 475 administrators out there in the marketplace, and there probably aren't 20 of them that work to a fiduciary standard and are 100% transparent. They all basically say they're transparent, but in the end, they really aren't. Uh,
Yep.
there's no definition of transparent that's universally etched in stone that everybody has to comply with if they're saying they are. Now, when you say you work to a fiduciary standard, that's a little bit different. That's a lot different. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of any other TPAs that work to a fiduciary standard other than the ones we actually work with. But if you're in that group of um, plan sponsors, employers
Mm-hmm.
that are looking for a different administrator, looking for a different broker, we have brokers that we can recommend. All of the vendors that we have are fully vetted. They meet our standards. we would recommend those two. That's important moving forward, because after we make this recovery of the last 3 years, how do you stop the overcharging, the theft from your plan today, tomorrow, and on? Well, we have solutions for that as well that you can build into your plan. And we would do that in conjunction with your broker, whether it's your current broker or whether it's a new one that you want us to recommend to you. So, we have 100% of the solutions that large groups need.
Well, we still got 2 minutes left in the show.
2 minutes.
Yeah, we got off to a late start. We couldn't get the camera on.
Yeah. Well, in the next session that we do, I'm going to get a little bit more into the PBMs and those vendors and how bad that is, because we're finding. I was with a 150-man group earlier this week, and I found $166,000 in pharmacy overcharging. And this is for drugs that are filled at the retail level, drugs that are filled at your pharmacy, Walgreens, Kroger's, Costco, any of these pharmacy vendors. There's over 66,000 pharmacies. Wow. So we found over $166,000 of overcharging in drug fills for this particular employer. And again, this was just 150 employees, a small group. We don't do the recovery for small groups, but we do identify the overspending and bring back solutions that will stop that overspending going forward. So that's what we'll get into next week with our next podcast. And again, my direct line is 513-720-4400.
And the website? Yeah, one more time. Say it again. One more time. I jumped the gun. Sorry.
Yep. The ABDI.com. Advanced Benefit Design Institute.com.
Thank you.
Either one will get to us.
All right. Thank you for your time today, for being here, Scott, and looking forward to the next time we connect. You have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. And to all of our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.